We're going to look at some basic terms and definitions that we'll use throughout this course. And you can read the definitions, and if you need to, take a minute and pause the video. And we're going to go down to the example because I think it'll be easier to understand the definitions as we talk through an example. Okay, so we have statistics, population, sample, quantitative, and qualitative data. Okay, so the example I will give you, okay, is just a very basic example. Suppose a college president was interested in the commute distance of the student body. A faculty member asked 100 students entering the college one day what their commute distance is. They calculate the average commute distance to be 9.4 miles. So what is the population? Well, when looking at the definition of population, it says the complete collection of all individuals or elements to be studied. So you can look at this as, who do we care about, or who are we interested in? Well, it says in the problem that the president was interested in the commute distance of the student body. So the population is the entire student body. Okay, what is the sample? Well, the definition of sample, a subcollection of members selected from the population or part of the population. Okay, so once the president was interested in the commute distance for the entire student body, it probably wasn't feasible or practical to ask every single student how far they commute to campus. So a faculty member took a sample of 100 students. Those 100 students are part of that population of the entire student body. So the sample is the 100 students who were surveyed. Okay, and then it asks what type of data this is. Is it quantitative or qualitative? Well, looking at the definitions of those two types of data, quantitative has the word quantity in it, and that just means quantity meaning numbers. So quantitative data is data that can be represented by counts or measurements. Qualitative data has the word qualities in it, sometimes called categorical data, and that's just data that can be separated into categories. So when you look at the question that the faculty member asked the students, it asked them what their commute distance is. Well, if you think about what kind of answers do you get, you would get answers such as 7 miles, 2 miles, 5 miles, 22 miles, and so on. So that data would be quantitative. I'm just going to circle it rather than write it all out. Because commute distance is numerical. Okay, so the data that they are collecting would be numbers, okay, numerical. Okay, suppose the faculty member tracked the model of the vehicle they came to campus in. Is that quantitative or qualitative? Well, the model of a vehicle could be asking if they drive a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Nissan, a Hyundai, Toyota. Okay, those would all be models of vehicles. Okay, so those you would organize as qualities or categories. Okay, so that data would have been qualitative. Okay, so the major difference between quantitative and qualitative data is just the type of data that you collect. Answers such as yes or no would be qualitative. Answers such as what is your GPA, that would be quantitative because those will be numbers. And I do want to point out that you do need to be careful because if they were asked the model of the vehicle they come to campus in, you can keep track of how many students said they drive a Ford or how many students say they drive a Chevrolet. Okay, but that does not make it quantitative data, because you can count the numbers or the number of responses. That does not make it quantitative. Okay, qualitative data means you have qualities or categories, such as models of vehicles. So some students do make that mistake and think, well, yeah, I'm counting up how many we have, so that must be numerical. But do not make that mistake. Okay, the other thing I'm going to mention between population and sample is the faculty member may just be interested in their students, because when they schedule an exam or do something in class, they may be interested in how long it takes their students to drive to campus. Okay, so the population in that case would just be those faculty members' students. So when you look at a situation, you really need to decide what the population is and really define it precisely. Okay, so like I said, a faculty member may just be interested in their students, and they may have 100 students themselves in all their classes. So then that might be the population. A sample of those students may be just one class out of the 5 classes that they teach, or maybe taking a random sample of 30 students out of the 100 that they teach. Okay, so you do have to be careful recognizing when a population is defined precisely and then taking a sample out of that population.